Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my MotoGP Rider Career Mode, and we are here for Aragon for the 5th from last race of the season. Now, if you guys have missed the last episode in Misano, then I do urge you to go click the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen, and I do urge you to go check that one out before you come back to this episode, as it was a pretty critical episode in the championship fight. But overall, I'm going to Aragon with very high spirits, and I'm really hoping to have a good race here today. Fingers crossed it all works out for us. I'm feeling confident. Aragon is a mixed track for me because I actually really enjoy riding this track. It's a very unique circuit, a lot of unique corners, but my results haven't been the greatest around here. But I'm hoping that I can sort of get on top of it, and I'm hoping the sort of MotoGP bike can really suit me. But fingers crossed we can have a good race here today, and let's hope for the best and try and continue our championship resurgence, because we really need to get a good result after Misano, because it was all looking so good until we made that one mistake. So let's jump into qualifying for qualifying 1 here at Aragon. Okay, we've got some incredible pace around here, almost 9/10 up in the third sector, pretty much 9/10 up on our very first attempt and first lap around the circuit. We managed to put in the 6/10 alone in the first sector. This final sector though is where I've lost time in the past in the inferior category, so I've still got to be perfect through here, get this final corner absolutely spot on, and there we go. That's pretty much decent enough, and that should see us across the line and go fastest. Yes it is, and there we go, we actually improved even more. So that is a very comfortable lap, 9/10 up, and I've got to say we could be a possible pole position challenger here today. Right, there we have it then, and we managed to get through the Q2 quite comfortably by nearly pretty much a second ahead of Danilo Petrucci in the leading Pramac Ducati there. And unfortunately, Jonas Folger and Scott Redding just miss out in the Sec 3 and also the secondary Pramac there. But we're going to get through in first place. So we're now going to move into Q2, where the pole position will be decided. We are seriously fast around here. Half a second up in the first sector. It's like this track was made for me and this bike combination. We are absolutely fine. The first sector was absolutely perfect, and we're looking very good at the moment here. Gave out quite a lot of time in the second sector there, only a 10th up now, so we can't afford to get too complacent, but we're still looking pretty good, and the bike feels absolutely phenomenal. The hard rear tyre really paying dividends for me, and got some great paces. We now go through the flip-flop chicane. Are we still going to be up here in sector 3? And the answer is yes, we are, by 4/10 of a second. This might only take one attempt, and this would be a massive statement for the championship. And we need this pole position, and also we need to convert this to a race win tomorrow. But here we go, one more corner to go. Let's make sure we pull it down for the apex. Bit of a sort of late apex this one. We run that very little bit wide, and then we squat the throttle on, and really trying to have the confidence to hope the bike sticks through the final corner. A little bit wide out of there, but it's going to work nonetheless. Here we go, across the line. Is it going to be pole? Not quite. We actually just miss out by half a second, so we gave up a lot of time in that final sector. So let's go again and try and improve. Okay, this time we're on a flyer, not giving up any time. We've actually managed to extend our lead over a 10th in the second sector. We're half a second up now through sector 2 as we approach sector 3. This time, much more competitive. Let's try and get this chicane absolutely nailed. But I feel confident in this lap if we just get it to the finish line this time. 8/10 up in the third sector. This could be the one. Let's make sure we really be a bit more aggressive into the final quarter. Try and keep it a little bit tighter, I think, to the apex. That's what let me down last lap. So we'll try and go a little bit closer to the curb and try and bring it down and brake a little bit more than I did last lap. Keep it a little bit tighter, squat the throttle a little bit earlier, really bring it in tight for this curb here, squat the throttle on, make sure we don't run out wide, and this time that looked pretty good to me. This should be enough hopefully for pole position. Here we go across the line, and yes it is, by just a 10th in that final sector. The AI claw a lot of time back, but that's going to be pole, and I think that might just be good enough. The only man to dip into the 1 minute 44s. Right, so there we go, we have it confirmed. We take pole position in Motorland Aragon, and we are the only man in the 1 minute 44s with, look at that, Marquez, Rossi and Vinales all split by literally a hairline, all within the 1 minute 45.1s there, and then it's a pretty big gap to Dovizioso in P5, so really, really close in that second place battle there, and we managed to go 6/10 faster than our teammate. Then Cal Crutchlow in P6, they had Danny Pedrosa, who had a disappointing qualifying compared to his teammate. Also Lorenzo only managing P8 there, ahead of Johan Zarco, and Iannone Petrucci and Alicia Spargaro bring up the rear in the top 12. But we take pole for the second race in a row, but this time let's hope to convert this into a race win. Right then, here we go. Pole position. Let's try and have a good start here. 4 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go in Aragon. It's a pretty okay start. Nothing spectacular. A little bit better than the one we had in Misano, which is good news. Opting for the outside of turn 1. I'm going to go a little bit wide here, which isn't ideal. Lorenzo on my inside. He's going to try and look for the move, but we've dropped down to P6, so not as bad, like I said, as Misano, where we dropped down to P10 or 11, so that could have been a hell of a lot worse. Crutchlow just forces me off wide there and forcing me offline, so not the best there from the Brit, but we're going to try and get back past him straight away. I feel confident in my pace. I've got a lot of reason to be confident. Also, I'm running the medium front and a hard rear because this is a track where I do lean on the rear tyre quite a bit, as we got the inside of Crutchlow, but he just holds it around the outside beautifully here. But we're going to go up the inside of the Brit into the flip-flop chicane on the inside, but Crutchlow doing a good job of holding on to it. And now Lorenzo on my inside as well. A little bit of contact there with Jorge. We're going to squirt the rear tyre on and try and get on the inside. Look how close this is as we run a little bit wide there, and Crutchlow give me an extra nudge for good measure, running me off the circuit there for the second time in one lap. Here we go now, braking hard into the chicane, going to get on the inside of Cal, and also Jorge Lorenzo. Brilliant move, an absolutely brilliant late braking manoeuvre there, really leaning on the tyres and within a whisker of falling off of my bike, but we just hold on, and we're now up into P5, so let's try and recover here. We've got the Yamahas leading the way with Dovi in P4, Marcus in P3. So let's see what our pace is like, and let's see if we can have a good race here today. Okay, right at the back of my teammate here, Dovizioso just dropping back a little bit from the pack, and we might try and line him up for an overtake, possibly the man who challenged for the championship last season and won the rule-off race in Qatar this year. Just sort of struggling to keep up with the front three at the minute, so we're looking pretty racy compared to my Ducati compatriot. Also, that front three really setting a good pace at the minute with the Yamahas really trying to break away. Marcus, though, keeping them very honest at the moment in P3. But here we go. This is going to be where I think we're going to get past Dovi. If we squirt the rear tyre on a little bit here, we're going to have a look on the inside. But to be fair, Dovi holds it nicely. But I'm going to slip up the inside beautifully there and make it work. An absolutely brilliant move, just slipping up the inside. Braking late now into the flip-flop chicane. Just making sure we don't fall off the bike. Dovi comes straight back up my inside. We're going to go for the switchback line on my teammate, getting a nice early apex, squatting it on in third gear, and there we go, nicely does it up the inside of Dovi, and we've made it work into P4, and we can now go try and pursue the front three. Okay, that was a pretty good lap from me there. I've made up a lot of ground on the front three. Marcus currently scrapping out of Valentino Rossi, and we're going to go into the start lap 4 and into the first sector, which is where I am absolutely rapid and faster than anybody else. We get the fast lap of the Grand Prix there, and it just goes to show our pace, about 7/10 off my qualifying lap. So right on the money here. Look at this, Valentino and Marcus still scrapping it out, but we're now going to join in on the party as this first sector is mine to own, and I'm the fastest guy through here. So we are looking very racy here at the minute in Aragon, getting very close to Marc Marquez there, under braking. Going to try and switch back underneath Marquez a little bit here, try and squirt the throttle on a little bit earlier, get on the inside if we can. It's going to be close, under braking, we're going to have a look, but oh, is it going to be possible? Not quite. Marquez just holds on around the outside, fair play to him. And then we're going to brake hard into the flip-flop chicane now. Got a bit of a wide entry. And I've probably turned it a little bit too early for my liking. I have to get out of it, otherwise Marcus would have turned right into me there. So this is going to get feisty and real tasty real soon. We're going to come back in for a bit of a late apex here. Try and squirt the throttle on nice and early. And here we go. Going to get on the inside of Marc Marquez. Going to brake hard. And he's caught my rear tyre a little bit there, just set me offline. But we've just held on to it. Just about. Marcus looking very racy as well, also not wanting to let me go through, but we've made it into P3 and we're now going to be on the back of the Doctor and Maverick Vinales in the other Movistar Yamaha. But here we go, good exit out of the chicane, very nice line through there, nice and tidy, and we're going to have a massive slipstream on the Doctor here on the back straight. We're going to pull to the inside and try and make the move into the final corner on the brakes. Are we confident? Yes, we are. Very late on the brakes, probably a little bit too late. Riley's going to get back up my inside. We're going to opt for the wider line for the late entry into the final apex, into the kink, and there we go. Look at the momentum we have. It's worked out beautifully for us. Can we brake late into turn 1? Yes, we do. Very late. It's very late. We pull it down, though, just about. Valentino, they're making the move onto lap 5. It's incredibly close racing, this, and really, really enjoyable. And we're going for this race win. We're definitely competitive here, just like Mazzano. Still hate the fact we might have thrown away some points in that race, but this one I'm hoping to not make the same mistake, and I want the full 25. So let's try and get past Valentino Rossi here, and then try and get past his teammate. Right now, though, it's looking like I can't get past Valentino at the minute. Okay, on the final lap now, can we get past Maverick Vinales and take the race win here in Aragon? It's going to be very close. Maverick is doing his absolute best to stay in the lead. He's got some good pace, and to be fair, he's responding at the minute, and he's really stretching the pack out, but I'm going to make it very hard for him to win this race because I want this 25-point victory for the championship to give me any chance of keeping my title hopes alive, even though they're pretty unrealistic now, even if it's just for the battle for third place. And here we go, Maverick is going to be right there. We're going to go very late on the brakes into the chicane, up the inside. Oh, it's brilliant. It's really, really good. Maverick has to yield, but we're going to run a bit wide here, and Vinales gets straight back on my inside, forcing me wide. I have to get out of the circuit a little bit there, and Maverick is going to be on the inside. We're going to cut back underneath him, going on to the back straight. We just about hold on to the bike. The rear tyre screaming at me that it has to let go. We're going to pick up a slipstream. It's going to come down to the final corner here with Maverick. Let's try and bring it down for the apex. Braking very late indeed, but not as late as I normally would. Keeping it there. We're going to come back up the inside of Maverick. Is he going to make it work? It's going to be close, but we're going to try and straight out the bike, but we lose the rear tyre, and Vinales is going to win it, I think, and yes, he is. Disappointing. We miss out again on the race win, just, unfortunately for us, and that is so annoying. But Vinales just had it in the bag there, as you can see, and we could not get it. So, disappointing race. We only get second place behind the Spaniard. Valentino Rossi wraps up the podium, and Marquez couldn't really keep up in the end there. Also, Dovi and Lorenzo also quite far back, and overall, we had the pace of that race. We was really bloody quick, and just a shame we couldn't make it work because of the poor start we had. But I'm sure I'll get better at those starts eventually. It's just practice and also learning to control the bike a little bit, but I need to get better at those. Either way, second place, 18 points on the board, and that is going to mean, oh, sorry, not 18, 20 points on the board. So that should mean for the Riders' Championship, we do remain in 5th place, but look how close it is between Marquez, Dovi, and myself now. Incredibly close, only 6 points apart, and Valentino Rossi 13 points clear of his teammate, and I've gained some points back on Rossi that race. We're now within 80 points again, but with 4 races to go and 100 points up for grabs, it's going to be pretty unlikely. So I think the best thing we can do in this championship is probably go for 3rd place. So let's hope for the best and see how that one works out for us. But in terms of the constructors, you can see Yamaha 55 points clear, really pushing hard, and clearly the best out of anybody. And in terms of the team rankings, you can see that Yamaha is still 23 points ahead of us, so they still remain top dogs in all categories and pretty much untouchable, and they've been so good this season. But overall, that is going to be it for this episode of MotoGP, guys. If you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for plenty more MotoGP and F1 2017 content. And also, please be sure to check out these videos on the screen if you have missed them by chance. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.